The year is 1619. The ship groaned as it cut through the waves, its wooden hull swollen with human misery. Below deck, in suffocating darkness, men and women lay chained, bodies weakened, minds teetering between despair and survival. The air was thick with sweat, sickness, and death. For weeks, they'd been trapped in this floating prison, stolen from their homelands, stripped of names, family, and freedom. Some no longer had the strength to fight hunger, thirst, or fever. Their silence filled the void where life once was. Then the ship slowed. Urgent voices echoed above.
A pair of ominous vessels loomed on the horizon. Amid the chaos of a violent raid, they were ripped from one another and thrust onto separate British privateer ships, the Treasurer and the White Lion. The White Lion would dock at Point Comfort at the mouth of the James River in the newfound colony of Virginia. Their journey supposedly began in the Kingdom of Ndongo, in present-day Angola, where they were forced onto a Portuguese slave ship. The ship was later raided while en route to New Spain, modern-day Mexico. Of the 350 that departed the shores of Angola, around 20 would arrive in Virginia. Slavery was not yet legally defined in 1619, but over the following decades, Virginia passed laws that increasingly restricted black freedoms. In 1661, a law formally recognised slavery by allowing free people to own enslaved individuals. And in 1662, another law decreed that children born to enslaved mothers would inherit their mother's status, cementing slavery as a hereditary and racial institution.
I'm so empowered to do good. I'm just really empowered to exist.
Yeah.
And my existence implies that you must exist, you know, and you must be heard, and your story must be told, and my story needs to be told.
Yeah.
3, 2, let's run! Oh, stop.
We're only about 500 meters in. And look at you.
A little bit of a stitch, but that's okay. I haven't warmed up yet.
We're just back from an unbelievable trip to the land of the stars and the stripes, the USA, and we were in Richmond, Virginia, and hosted by the Hollywood actor Djimon Hounsou. And you might recognize him from movies such as Blood Diamonds with Leonardo DiCaprio,
Or Gladiator with Russell Crowe, Ridley Scott. Don't watch the sequel.
He invited us to partake in his road race called the Run Richmond 16.19. 1619 was the year that the first 20 African slaves arrived in Virginia in the United States. And so Djimon's adapted that to 16.19 kilometers in commemoration of that particular date.
Ultimately, what I was trying to achieve was to strengthen Africa's intergenerational identity by embracing the people of the African diaspora. It's trying to acknowledge the achievements of our people. What a story to be told.
In the early 1700s, the James River became a highway for human cargo. The river allowed ships to transport enslaved people from coastal ports to inland plantations. Richmond, founded in 1737, quickly became a hub for agriculture and trade, replacing Williamsburg as the capital of the colony and Dominion of Virginia in 1780. The James River provided easy access for merchants to transport goods and enslaved people throughout the region.
These unfortunate slaves were held in pens, inspected and sold at auctions, where families were routinely separated. Richmond's economy thrived on this trade, as wealthy planters and traders made fortunes selling enslaved people to the deep south.
Lovely.
How are you feeling so far?
I feel I don't even think I've run a kilometre yet. To all my fans out there, I'm still alive and kicking. Nothing could stop me. Need to pee. I need to pee.
You need to pee?
I need to pee real bad.
This is the Freedom and Emancipation statue, which was erected in 2021, and it is just brilliant. Very, very powerful. And as you walk around this, you will notice that 10 individuals are pointed out, and they all played significant roles pre and post emancipation.
This man here, William Harvey Carney, the first of only 88 African Americans to have ever won the Medal of Honor.
And this lady here, Mary Jane Bowser, born into slavery, later became a spy for the Union during the Civil War. Incredible.
Or how about this man, Dred Scott? Now, if you ever heard of the Scott versus Sandford case, it was actually one of the biggest injustices in Supreme Court history, arguably one of the worst. Funny enough, it was one of the catalysts for the Civil War. So there you go. What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
Sometimes you gotta improvise to get the shot, and I don't see you do it. No, Christian.
I can really do with a beer. So far, so good, I think. Actually, no, that's a lie.
And tell me, what does this race mean to you?
Oh, it's showing.
It's a big deal, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is. It's showing how slavery arrived to Virginia
Yeah.
and where they came in through.
And this was ground zero for slavery, yeah?
Yeah.
So when you talk about our national narrative, America's history story, you cannot tell that story without talking about what happened right here. And that's why it's so important to have this event in this place.
Paul was run ahead, but I'm still here doing an actual tour of the city. All right, this is the Henry Brown box. There it is.
By the early to mid 1800s, enslaved individuals worked on tobacco plantations and in industries such as ironworks, mills, and shipbuilding, which had laid the foundation for Richmond's economy. One such worker went by the name of Henry Brown. Born into slavery in Louisiana County, Virginia, around 1815, he was sent to work in a tobacco factory in Richmond, where he became known as a skilled worker. But after his family were taken from him in 1848, he, along with a free black man named James C.A. Smith and a white abolitionist, Samuel Smith, devised a bold plan.
If you're claustrophobic, look away now. This is the size of the box that Henry Brown was in on his trip to freedom from here to Philadelphia, which was in a free state. Look here, look here, look. I can't even get my shoe in. Brown endured 27 hours in complete darkness. Despite the risk of suffocation or being discovered, he remained still and silent.
How that guy did this, I don't know. And you know, that just shows you how freaking desperate people were to escape slavery. Desperate, desperate, desperate. That he stayed in this little thing. I mean, as you say, I can't get my feet in either. And it would be pitch black. It just had a little hole for air.
Upon arrival in Philadelphia, abolitionists carefully opened the crate and Brown emerged, reportedly exclaiming, "How do you do, gentlemen?" Henry Brown, what a man.
This will make Christian incredibly happy because we are at the halfway point. I'll turn, yeah, you idiot. Shit, sorry. Everyone else is turning and you carry on running straight like Forrest Gump. When Christian and I do these Natural Born Runner shows, what we quite like to do is find a local cameraman and aspiring filmmaker to join us at every destination we typically go to. And on this occasion, we have found a lovely chap from Philly, but from the Richmond University Film School. And in the background, you'll see him.
There he is.
Zachy, I call him Skater Boy. And he's doing a fine job for us.
Well done, well done. Keep going. Well done, well done. Keep going, keep going. Excellent stuff. Well done. Fantastic. Keep going, guys. Yeah.
This is really slow. How are you doing, buddy?
I think we're about maybe 8k, 9k. But I'm really starting to feel it. My fire's burning. Things I do for money, I mean, the things I do for passion, you know? It's a nice skateboard there, mate. You need it.
I know sometimes life can be tough.
It's the reconciliation statue. It's pretty cool.
So the vocation of what we're doing, it's deeply inscripted in the reconciliation statute, which says, I quote, "Let us acknowledge and forgive the past, embrace the present, but shape a future of reconciliation and justice."
This is the Reconciliation Triangle. There are 3 of these statues replicated. One is in Benin, the other is in Liverpool, and obviously this one stands here in Richmond, Virginia. And it's quite interesting because each of the industries fed each other. So you had slaves that were being sent from Benin and West Africa to Richmond, and then Richmond would send tobacco and cotton and food to Liverpool, and in exchange for that, Liverpool would send metal and weapons down to Benin, to the tribe's heads. So it's actually quite a vicious triangle.
We're trying to turn this triangle about trade, of slave trade, to a triangle of hope.
The Reconciliation Triangle in Richmond is a powerful symbol of healing and acknowledgement of the transatlantic slave trade. It sits in Shoko Bottom, a vibrant part of Richmond, but it was once the city's slave trading district and a place of unimaginable horror. Thousands of enslaved men, women and children were held in slave jails, auctioned off like cattle and forced to endure lives of brutality and hardship. Lumpkins Jail, known as the Devil's Half Acre, was one of the most infamous holding pens where enslaved individuals awaited their fate. Slaves were brought here in their thousands and piled upon each other, often in their own sweat, blood and feces, and in pens rife with diseases. Lumpkin was a cruel man who forced enslaved people to breed, sometimes with their own parents, children or siblings. He would cover their heads with blankets to keep them from knowing. It truly was an awful, awful place. Sad stories like these show how dark and inhumane slavery was. But have we learnt anything from our past?
Around 50 million people were reportedly living in situations of modern slavery.
Extraordinary to believe it's actually on the rise.
With around 4 times as many slaves today as there were in the transatlantic slave trade, we are perhaps more divided now than we have ever been. There are a couple of mediums, however, that Djimon believes has, and can still be catalysts for change.
Sports and music are the only 2 elements that bring, the
There's unity.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so along with that, we can champion this idea of unity. And it's beautiful to watch. I mean, if not because of sports, we wouldn't have venues to come together that we could, all be charged with only one goal, which is to win this game, regardless of our differences, regardless of how we look. That's the first step to this conceptual idea of unity.
Well, I mean, you're using sport and art in tomorrow's race because there are all these beautiful murals around the city. We can go see one now. Hey, look who I found, Mr. Bojangles. Together we rise. This beauty here is called Finding Tomorrow.
Voices of perseverance.
Nina Simone. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
She doesn't sing that.
Yeah, she does.
The streets of Richmond are a canvas for creativity. The fabulous murals, which are dotted all around its streets, showcase the city's history. Its inhabitants, from musicians, activists, sportsmen and women from all different backgrounds and walks of life, all who have shaped this city into what it is today. Kristen, I'm going to grab you by the scruff of your bloody neck. Let's get out of here.
You can park. I just started an Instagram for this.
Oh, stop.
Well, one of the nice memorable things were the people. I mean, the people that we met there. I mean, remember that time we went to the bar randomly? We popped and he needed a beer. I needed a spring water. And the two girls that were there were just so welcoming. It was just nice and friendly. They invited us to karaoke. We didn't take them up on that.
Just finding the angle.
Where are you trying to hit?
Just going for the perfect.
Unfortunately, I don't know how to zoom, but if I carefully step off the chair,
It's because that's a bit wonky. Go on.
Do you want me to leave it at that?
Oh, just did it. Okay, you have.
No. Christian, I'm mad at many times. Trust me.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you don't get no water on the skateboard. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I finished and I've come back to find you.
Have you actually?
Yeah.
No way.
I sat on the sidewalk for 20 minutes waiting for you, and then I thought, he's going to run. It's actually not far now. You've done well, man.
So the pool was actually finished already. He's come back to get me.
I sat there with my little glasses on checking my emails. We have a casualty. We have a casualty.
Cramping up.
You literally have about 800 meters to go, buddy.
My balls, my testicles are too big. I mean.
Up to this point, African American slaves in Richmond had endured a horrific time. However, in 1861, a significant event would help turn the tide: the American Civil War. Richmond became the capital of the Confederacy, further strengthening its ties to slavery. But on April 3rd, 1865, Union forces liberated Richmond, setting the city ablaze in one of the war's final acts. Freedom came, but so did new struggles. The Reconstruction era brought hope, but also systemic oppression through Jim Crow laws, segregation, and racial violence. Yet, despite these challenges, the African American community in Richmond persevered, building churches, businesses and schools, laying the foundation for future generations. And in the 20th century, Richmond became the battleground for civil rights, with activists fighting for desegregation and voting rights. The detailed stories of many African Americans in Virginia, both pre- and post-emancipation, are told at the Black History Museum. Okay, I'm in the Black History Museum and it is fascinating. And this is a very special place because it celebrates the culture, the history, and everything that goes with African Americans in this part of the world. So come and have a look. Okay?
We were founded in 1981. We have 2 physical locations. We actually opened to the public in 1991, right around the corner on 00 Clay Street. The building that we are standing in right now was built in 1895 for African American militiamen. This is called the historic Lee Street Armory.
So, who is, in your mind, your hero African?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll throw you in the deep end.
Yeah. Bayard Rustin. He is the brains behind the civil rights movement.
Okay.
In terms of the strategies that were used during the civil rights movement, he is someone that I deeply, deeply, deeply admire. And another person from the civil rights movement as well, Daisy Bates. She's someone that I definitely look to. She was one of the first women that I learned about in terms of American civil rights history. So in terms of African American history, it's all connected and it all leads back to Virginia.
Yeah, ground zero.
Yeah, ground zero.
Yeah. To where the horrors started and
Yeah.
kind of where it's been fixed.
Yeah.
I like that.
Where we are moving forward through healing,
Yeah.
but not forgetting what has happened.
Time for a swim. Time for a swim, I think. Let's go.
We are at Bell Island, and these are called the Hollywood Rapids, and they do a lot of kayaking and stuff here. Really cool. Interesting fact about Bell Island is that during the Civil War, it was used as a POW camp, and there were 30,000 Union soldiers that were kept here. So anyway, here we go. Dip time. Christian, you joining me? So after a grueling run for some, the poor man's still so stiff. We had completed the 16.19 and then went for a little bathe in the river.
Yes, we did.
In true Paul tradition.
As we do.
Yeah, and then I said to Christian, there's one thing you got to do. And I mean, Richmond's completely wrong place to be doing this, but to have Texas barbecue, because being South African, I love my braai, as we call it, our meat.
Yes.
And so I twisted Christian's arm easily to come and have a feast. And we went off to a wonderful place called ZZQ's. Okay, I am at ZZQ's with the founder, the owner, and her name is Alex, but they call her Orange, and I love that.
Hello.
And she's quite a character. But this is all about barbecue. Christian, I know you love your barbecue. I'm South African, I love my barbecue. We call it braai. So coming to America, I said to Christian, we got to go to barbecue. I know we're in Richmond, and barbecue is not necessarily a big thing here as it is in Texas, because this is inspired by Texas.
This is Texas-style barbecue. My
Yeah.
husband was born and raised in Texas.
That's where it comes from.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Good.
authentic.
Oh, very authentic.
He's a Texan. I married him in West Texas.
Where are you from?
I grew up in Virginia Beach.
Okay.
And we met here in Richmond. We had the opportunity to start serving here. He's completely self-taught. He trained
Really?
himself how to smoke a brisket. Like before there was YouTube, before
Yeah.
anything else, he was obsessed. And that's really our foundation.
So you're going to take us behind the scenes here. You're going to go and see some real barbecue. Christian, I hope you didn't have breakfast this morning.
1, 2, 3. The culture is huge.
Yeah.
And it's really, I mean, this is an extension of us. We built this together.
Yeah,
we started in our backyard. There's, I mean, nothing gets past us. You know, if a chair breaks, somebody's going to come
Yeah.
talk to me.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the beauty of family-run business.
I'm here all the time.
Really, eh?
Sure.
What do you like? What's your favorite?
Well, I love the prime rib. They
Yeah.
got a prime rib. I love the bacon ribs on Sunday. I'll probably get a small batch of sausage today.
Yeah.
The watermelon salad's phenomenal.
Watermelon salad. Eh?
It's really good, yeah.
So tell me, what do you do? Do you take it home?
Oh, I eat it here.
You eat it here?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
This is bloody exceptional. Just like melts in your mouth. right. I don't know what you're gonna eat. Check it out. Check it out. I love my meat. As long as it's long, soft, hard, or in my mouth. This is like a chorizo. It's very spicy sausage. Oh, cheese in it. Maagjes vol, oortjies toe. Which means, Christian, it's bedtime. Thank you so much, Alex Orange Graf.
My pleasure.
It's been an absolute experience for us. Beautiful, it really is. And thanks for taking us a little tour. And well done, congratulations. This is a gold mine in Richmond, it really is. And we hope to encourage lots of people to come and enjoy your barbecue.
Wonderful, I look forward to that.
Yeah, thank you again.
Come back.
We will, I promise you, especially this man. Look at his stomach. It's been the most remarkable 48 hours in Richmond, Virginia. And we've darted around, just captured all the magnificent moments from this beautiful statue to the many others, all the murals, getting the opportunity to run in Djimon's race, and obviously the highlight being able to interview the gentleman, and what a gentle guy he is. I just think that this is such a message town for the world. What happened here and the emancipation, slavery over that long period of about 200 years, just dreadful. It's just mind-blowing when you start researching it and then you come here and you learn more and more about it. I think Djimon's thing is don't forget what happened, but look forward, but never forget, because you never want to fall into that dark place again as a planet. We don't want to do that. Anyway, let these statues be a reminder, not only for what happened, but for hope. And it's worth a visit to this city, because it's not just about this. It's the food and the entertainment, and the people here are super friendly. They really are. So Richmond, thank you for having us. Djimon, thanks for letting us run in your race. And we look forward to the next journey.
I'm so empowered to do good. I'm just really empowered to exist.
Yeah.
And my existence implies that you must exist, and you must be heard, and your story must be told, and my story must be told.
For our next adventure, join us as I take this gentleman to Antarctica.
That's right. The first man from Dagenham to have ever entered Antarctic soil.
And the last.
A big thank you to the Djimon Hounsou Foundation. If you want to learn about Richmond's unique history on foot, then click the link in the description and sign up. Once again, big thanks to our sponsor, Terra Nova, and the legends over at Shine Creative. Adios, my friends.